Hello fine people, welcome to the GKTECH V3 S-Chassis Offset Strut Top Install video presented by Johnny Caps and Officer Dan. What on earth are you going to get in this box? Fancy transition. It'll come with all the bolts needed for install, the main plates themselves, and the horseshoe plates that attach to the top. The main plate and the horseshoe are going to measure in at 31 millimeters or 1.22 inches tall. Also comes with a set of instructions if you get stuck or can't get to the YouTubes. For the install, start by removing the coilover nuts. Pull the coilover out of the way and remove the coilover top hat itself. This is usually done by removing the 4 camber adjustment bolts. Give it a wipe down and get it clean for reinstallation. Now take your top hat and press all 3 studs out using your method of choice, then reinstall the coilover top hat back onto the coilover, thread the bolts all the way back down onto your now studless top hat, and set your camber adjustment. Tighten those suckers down, and fancy transition, flip it around to the right direction. Grab your GKTECH main plate and hold it like so. This side should be facing the front of the car when installing. Push this particular strut plate bolt through and thread the nut on for now, as it'd be tricky to do later. Then place the main plate on top of the top hat and install the other bolts from top to bottom as shown. Now thread the nuts onto each one to make your life easier for later. As you can see, the plate has adjustment like so. Slide the main plate all the way to the left and push the strut plate bolt up through and slide it back to the right, holding it in place. Remove the nut you just threaded on from earlier and grab the horseshoe, then install that on top of the main plate. The horseshoe adjustment is separate from the main plate, so this thing is chock full of castor adjustment, with the maximum castor adjustment coming in at 15 millimeters or 0.59 of an inch, and the minimum castor adjustment coming in at 28 millimeters or 1.10 inches. And fancy transition to install the coilover by jacking it back into place and lining up the studs. Pop on the washers, then the nuts, and snug those puppies down, but don't tighten them down all the way yet. Once done, flip to the bottom, and this is the first adjustment you have for castor with these plates. Once it's set, tighten down and torque to these specs. As you can see here, you can also adjust the top horseshoe as well for more adjustment. Once that's dialed, tighten the top nuts down and torque them to these specs as well. That's it. You are now the master of camber. Follow these nutty dudes on YouTube, and for Pete's sake, if you don't feel confident installing this stuff yourself, have a pro do it. We them boys at GKTECH, and we're here to wish you a good day.